my bootmate. I'm in front of 7-Eleven. Oh, where is it? Oh, there. More update later, maybe. They just made the announcement that they have opened the doors. So good luck. This is day 1 of Doujima. I'm not sure how much I can actually like take video, but I will try. Let me just show you the booth. Ta-da! I'm together with Sunny stickers. So this is my side. I'll probably show y'all like better view now, but yeah. So okay, see y'all later with more updates. It is day 2 of Doujima and the booth is all prepped up already. So let's go day 2. I'm done packing. It's the end of the show. Ta-da! That's Farah. We are done. We are super done. We got this all packed up within like what, 30 minutes? So yeah, so this is what everybody's doing. Alright, that will be all. That will be all. I will do the whole wrap up when I'm back in Malaysia. Bye bye. Hi there, my name is Yana and I'm an art stationery maker from Malaysia, and I've made my first debut in Singapore's anime convention. I know, that's crazy. Like I don't know, just saying it, and to be honest, like thinking back about it, it still was like the whole thing was just crazy because I never thought that I would like do an anime convention like outside of Malaysia. Actually, no, I wasn't even thinking of doing an art convention outside of my state. But then now it's not even just the state, it's like outside of the country. And I don't know, Singapore is literally just like one what's the term, like a stone throw away for those who live in Malaysia, technically speaking. So I don't know, I'm still like pretty overwhelmed with just the thought of that I managed to debut my art overseas, like physically debuting it overseas, because I have a pretty decent amount of international orders that I get on an annual basis. So it's not like my art has never reached like outside of Malaysia, but it's just that physically doing an anime convention outside of Malaysia is like, for me, like that's a huge thing. Because I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but Malaysia's currency is pretty low. So like going anywhere outside of Malaysia, it's a pretty it will break your bank account if you're not careful enough. So and I think it's like a known thing right now that, like, at least for those of you who watch my videos, you would know that I am still trying to get like a strong footing in my local industry, uh, and the income is like always like in like a roller coaster, right? It's not like a stable income just yet. So it's just crazy. Like I honestly owe this whole experience to Farah from Sunny Stickers Malaysia. Like I owe it to her because she's the one that said, "Yana, do you want to join? Do you want to go to this event?" I was like, yeah, but like literally I didn't even have like enough funds for it, and I was just like, okay, I just said okay first, you know. I just said okay first, and then 1 year, was it 1 year, 6 to 8 months after the application, we're finally here. So in terms of preparation wise, okay, so I don't know whether you probably watched like the previous videos or not, but I believe in the video that I was talking about Pokemon cards when I first created and why I created the Pokemon cards. In that video I did mention that I went to an event and I got to meet a vendor that was an I say was because she doesn't do art anymore. She's more into vending for Pokemon TCGs. So she's more in that line now, but she was a former Singaporean artist, and she shared her insight that unless you are a big name, people are not very inclined to buy your own original art, like this, like my nanabis. Like they can be mixed, but you probably not get the traction. Like you don't pull in people that easily unless you're a big name. So I got to know about that like what, a month ago. A month ago. And she said like definitely fan arts are the way to go, and at this point I've already kind of dropped a lot of fandoms and I'm like literally focusing on my original art. But knowing the fact that people will be more inclined to spend when it's an actual fan art, so I was like, okay, so that means I need to grind. And so far as Pokemon goes, like you cannot miss with the Evolution series. So I grind really hard. Like 9 illustrations. These 9 illustrations were done within 3 to 4 days. I say 3 to 4 days because I feel like uh I did take like an extra day because I was doing like the first illustration that I did was like on a weekend, but then on that means the week before the Dojima weekend, that Sunday or Saturday, I started working on one illustration, and then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I literally forced myself to stream that 3 days to showcase my progress with all the evolution illustrations. Also, it helped to push me to like get it done as fast as I could, and it was crazy. It was so crazy to the point that I believe when I was working with Espion, uh, I think because the night before I was already like working till like late. I was like streaming and working on, I believe Sylveon, was it? No, I think Jolteon. Someone, I was working on someone on stream the night before, and then that morning I woke up early a little bit because we needed to go out that day. So in the morning I took an hour and a half to finish Espion, and I didn't realize that I pushed myself a bit too hard because after I was done with Espion within that 1.5 hours, I went like when I wanted to go to take a shower, because like our bathroom setting is like you will pass by the mirror where the sink is for you to like brush your teeth and stuff like that, right? So I because when we go into the toilet, that's the first thing you see is the mirror, right? When I look at myself through the mirror, I actually look like super pale, and I was like, why am I so pale? It's like crazy pale. And I'm like, I cannot be that pale. And then when I tried looking around, that's when I actually noticed I'm actually seeing everything as like super pale, because I actually have a blue color, a very striking blue, like a handheld water scooper thingy. I don't know what it's called in English, but I have that, and that is like striking blue. But when I looked at it, it was pale blue. I'm like, what? And then because my shower set, everything is like black. And when I tried to look at the shower set, even the shower set was like gray. I'm like, what is wrong? Like, I think that was the closest to like actually being like colorblind that I could have ever gotten. I was like, what is happening? Then I quickly like wash my face and like just close my eyes for a good like 10 to 30 seconds, I believe. And I was just like hoping and praying when I open my eyes things would be normal. And thankfully, when I opened back my eyes, the first thing I checked was my skin color, and I saw the I saw the warmth in my skin tone. I was like, I can see I can see colors back to how I used to see colors. Bad enough I'm already like partially colorblind. I have this. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but I am partially colorblind already. So having to see the colors that I can see is like I was like, that is a bit too much, Yana. So anyways, so I knew that I pushed myself a bit too hard for this series, but I'm really glad that I pushed myself, because literally the thing that got sold the most during the whole weekend at Dojima was literally my Pokemon cards. So it was super worth the effort. Like, it's super worth the effort because one, I'm a brand that it's like non-existent in the Singapore market. So for people to stop and actually like appreciate my art and actually buy my art, like that is a huge win by itself. So for people to actually buy like the whole set, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I'm really glad I pushed myself really hard for that. And yeah, like it's I don't know the exact numbers because I haven't like converted back the cash, the Singapore dollar to Malaysia to ringgit Malaysia. Why was that so hard? To ringgit Malaysia, haven't converted it back yet, so I don't know the exact numbers. But what I can tell you is that I managed to cover the whole trip, including the boot rental, the hotel rental, and the trip, basically the transport to go and come back. And also like the food and whatever not. So I managed to cover all of that and still have some profit from it. So yeah, I would say it's a very successful event. But this also, the but is actually is nothing negative, but I would say this fandom kind of got me thinking, like, because okay, one, I'm facing trouble of I don't like, okay, this is not like a confirmed thing. I don't know how legit is this claim, but I personally feel like ever since I started my new Instagram account for just the art only, I have been unable of very much less um, being chosen to attend these anime conventions locally. So I'm not sure it's because the account is like still new, which is like means like lesser follower numbers. So I'm not sure whether they also see follower numbers on top of the art style. But yeah, so that's my like one current problem that I'm having right now. So I've been trying to get people to follow my Instagram account so that hopefully with the numbers it helps to, hopefully with like, I don't know what's their threshold of like getting people, like approving people's application. I'm not sure, but I would logically think like anything between like 1,000 is a good number. So I've been trying my best to try to get the account out there and get people to support the account. So if you haven't followed my Instagram account, please do give it a follow. I appreciate it very, very much. It also helps with uh, visibility, I guess. The brand awareness does grow in that sense. But yeah, so besides that, I'm also okay. That's problem number one. Problem number two is probably because I am focusing a lot of original art, and probably because it's not something that they are looking for, because usually anime conventions are more for fandoms. So I still do want to try to apply for anime conventions, but if I want to do that, I actually need to be like really strong with a fandom, with like a presence of a fandom. And this one is also like more like a personal opinion, like something I've been observing from all the 4 years of me attending anime conventions, that if your, it's not only like your style that has to stand out. It's not only your style that has to stand out, but also the, like the way how you showcase your product also plays a part. So I feel like if I'm able to focus on one single fandom and apply to conventions with that strong fandom presence, I feel like that it might help me to get into those conventions a bit more easier. So I don't know how legit is any of this, but it's just like a feeling that I, it's a feeling and it's a thought that I've been like thinking and pondering upon for the past, I don't know, few months already. And since now I'm really into Pokemon, since I got back into Pokemon Go, and also because this year is their 30th anniversary for the Pokemon franchise and the 10th anniversary for Pokemon Go itself. So like there's a lot of things going on, and now I think currently the trend for Pokemon TCGs, or any TCG in general, is like kind of hype for some reason. I don't know why, but for some reason it's quite hype. So I feel like just the fact that I'm also right now like very much into Pokemon, and also the fact that the anniversary is happening this year and there's a lot of content, there's a lot of events about it going on, I feel like I can take this chance to like double down on the fan art for this fandom. and try to make my presence known in this way. So it's a long roundabout way of saying that I think for now, what I plan to do is to drop all other fandoms and just focus on Pokemon and try to build like a whole collection, because honestly Pokemon, like there's just so many Pokemons to begin with. So for me to like, I wouldn't even say catching up with all of them. I wouldn't be able to work on every single one character, but I can try my best to work on some Pokemons, and yeah, and then we just see how it goes, because I was thinking like maybe I just turn my whole display into like a mini vending machine that looks like you can just buy Pokemon cards off out of. So that's like one of the ideas that I had, and I don't know, to me that kind of point of view, like that analyzation of the market and how I could probably like place myself in this industry and hopefully get some traction, is to just focus on one fandom and continue with my style, but just just go all out in one fandom essentially, and just be hopeful that um, it will gain more traction and people will like what they see, and hopefully conventions will also like consider allowing me to also like join the conventions and boot at there. Essentially, I don't know, it's a super windy way of saying that I am planning and I am going to focus on Pokemon fandoms for a bit. But I'm not dismissing any of my original art. I'm still doing my original art. But more about that in probably another video, because that is very much related to the snail mail journey. So yeah, so more on that later on. But no, do not worry, Nadabis is here to stay. My original art is here to stay. My original character is here to stay. But just that in terms of fandom wise, to get into anime conventions, I would need a fandom to like ride on, and I feel like with what my interest is currently, Pokemon is like the answer to it for now. So yeah. So all in all, preparing for Dojima was crazy, and experiencing the crowd in another country was also, I wouldn't say it's crazy, but it was like super good. Like super good. I was like really excited. I was nervous also, but it was a really nice experience. And the aftermath of all of that is that I know that I would love to really just expand my collection of Pokemon cards and share that nostalgic memories with other people who also like Pokemon. So yeah. So I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, because that because I am all over the place, because there's actually like so much to do within the next 2 months. Like there's really really a lot of things to do, and my brain is like trying to like see which one I can do when first. So that's the truth of why when I most of the time when I talk to you in this studio vlogs, it's like all over the place. It's because my brain is like literally like it's thinking of this topic, it's thinking of that topic, but I'm like trying my best to like organize my thoughts and like convey it to you guys. But yeah, anyways, in Pokemon, talking about Pokemon, um the few Pokemons that I will be working on next, just in case if you're interested to know, would be to expand. No, not expand, to continue working on all the cats. So I have Meowth, Glam Meow, Esper, Sprigatito, and Mewstick to work on. Like, I would really love to work on those cats because in July I'm going to attend an event that is literally like themed around cats. So I think it's going to be the perfect time to have all the cat Pokemons as well. And then I have a special request, and I actually realized a lot of people like Tendermouse, and Mousehole in general, and I would like to work on that too. So that one, and then the initial starters that the main starters that every Pokemon fan would love to have, which is the Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle combo. So yeah, I already have the sketch ready for them. Wait, let me get the page out. Yeah. So I already have the sketch ready for those four. Of course, you can't see anything. It's just like a bunch of scribbles here for you. But I have the idea ready for Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander already. So I'm gonna be working on them on Twitch and off Twitch. But starting this coming week, I'll start streaming 3 days a week so that I can catch up with more projects. So there's that. So that's in terms of like as far as Pokemon card making, card illustrating goes. For now, at least for now. And then in between, I have to work on my snail mail. So my snail mail, I'm still kind of like deciding how I want to do those artworks and whether or not I should be doing track mails, because track mails are a bit more like guaranteed to reach you. So yeah, I'm still thinking, because if I do it that route, I probably need to bump up the price a bit more, and I'm not sure if people are willing to pay a bit more for that. But we'll see. We'll see how. But yeah, so Doujima, super great event. Super excited for that whole experience, and I feel like it has opened up my mind for the idea of booting overseas. But yeah, when is the next overseas convention? I don't know. But will I consider doing another overseas convention? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Because I feel like people will like my art, and people from other places will like my art. So yeah, I like to share my art. I like to get my art everywhere around the world. But yeah, so I think that's about it for this studio vlog. I know that wasn't much clips to share. I'm so sorry for that, but it was just so hectic. It was just so hectic. Oh, I probably should just share this part. There was one hiccup that happened during the whole process of making those cards, the evolution cards. But it was like a major hiccup because my printer suddenly decided like, oh, you have run out of ink. But in actuality, it's still like half, the tank is still half on those colors that it says it was like running low on. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then I tried to go and hunt for the ink at a mall. Like, I went to several shops in the mall, but they didn't have that specific ink refill bottle. I'm like, oh my lord. So I lost like a whole day of production, actually a half a day of a production. So I went out the following day, which was Thursday, and I was leaving on a Friday. By right, I would have been done by that Thursday, but then it ended up me having to like hunt for it in the morning. Came back home, immediately started production, and it went up to 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock Friday morning, and I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready and get out of the house and to get onto the public transport to get to Singapore. It was crazy. It was super, super crazy. This is like TMI, but I think I was so stressed that my body like refused to poop. Like it just refused to poop. Like I that was like what, a whole week of me not pooping, but it's not pain. Like I wasn't in any pain. I wasn't having constipation, nothing. It's just my body refused to poop. And the only time when I actually poop was on Tuesday. So I came back home on Monday night. On Tuesday, when I think my body and my mind relaxed because I could rest, and that's when my body decided, okay, it's time to poop. Crazy. That was crazy. Fun times, fun times. But yeah, that's all I have to share. A little bit of TMI. But yep, that's about it. Also, I'm really happy that this became the third piece that I have on my wall of, I say it's wall of pride, but it's actually more like wall of pride and joy. Because it's not really like fame, but it's just like, it's my proud collection because each one is literally like marking when I have the like change of art style or like improvement in my art style. Like these three are literally like the progress that I've made so far. So yeah, pretty happy about it. Pretty happy about this whole experience. Was I happy that I wasn't pooping? No, I was stressing out. But yeah, still, it was all fun. It was all super, super fun. Alright, I think that's enough yapping for this round. I will see you in the next studio vlog, which is hopefully coming out before the end of May. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see y'all soon. Bye bye.